This thing's so good, women might get pregnant just by going inside. Men might get pregnant just going inside. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV. Hopefully not landing you in the ER in a pregnancy situation after watching this video, but I wouldn't be surprised. This is, I think for good reason, the most heavily requested RPod that I've seen. We've had so many people going, are you gonna record the 205? Can you record the 205? This thing looks awesome. And I totally understand why. There's so many floor plans out there kind of similar to this. Like if you think of like an Imagine 17 MKE, it's a Murphy bed open concept design with a sofa slide. And there's a lot of people who are like, I generally like this floor plan, but I have no need for an open bedroom. I have no need for a Murphy bed, and I have no desire for a slide. And this camper solves for all of those things. It is only about 4,500 pounds dry. It's 8 foot wide, tandem axle, easy towing kind of situation. But it gives us a private 60 by 80 true queen bedroom with that really cool, almost like food truck front serving window, which has nightshades and bug screens, of course, but also a dedicated theater seat and a 2-person couples dinette that can fold down into a little bitty sleeper for maybe a small grandkid or a big dog or something like that. And I think a very intelligently sized kitchen. It's not the world's biggest kitchen, but I think it's smartly sized and it's just enough to do what you need to do here. The bathroom also does not suck. It's got things like the bigger vent fan, a rectangular shower. This one just checks the boxes. Simple, easy, Asdel composite walls, heated enclosed underbelly, 200-watt factory solar package. You could do a Sir Mix-a-Lot double up, throw a second panel up there if you're so inclined. We are, things like camera prepped, the dual propane tanks, so you don't gotta, worry about, oops, I ran out of propane on a Sunday, and even if you do, they're 20-pounders, you can just take it to a gas station, swap them out. Campside window coverage. I mean, just start naming things you want in an RV, like Goodyear tires. And this does so many of those in a smarter, smaller, lighter package that doesn't feel like you're really making a lot of big sacrifices. At least that's the impression I walked away with. But that's just me. I'd really be curious to know what you think. As we go through this, let me know where you think they nailed it, where they failed it, how they, could continue to improve. And if you appreciate how we show you the good with the bad through everything, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get in there because this one is fun, son. So starting from the outside here, working our way in, 25 foot, tip to tail, tandem axle, only 4,500 pounds, lightweight, easy towing, peace of mind, no slide simplicity. And I want to give them immediate credit, right? When you walk in the door, I have a place to hang a jacket, dog leash, hats, any of that kind of stuff. Fly swatters, depending on what you're doing and where you're camping and what kind of bugs you have in your local neighborhood. And that's just the kind of smart thinking, daily use and function detail that a lot of RVs just lack. And this is only my first year ever, my first season ever in my entire career of really getting a chance to review the new generation and modern generation of RPods here. And I am genuinely so impressed with the smart, thoughtful, functional details that they have in these. Like right down here, what we're looking at below that big 12-volt compressor fridge is a full central vacuum system, but where you have that little foot sticker, there's that black rectangle. That is what I call the electric dustpan. So even though it comes with the full pool cleaner kit, which if you don't know what I mean, you'll see it when we get under the bed for storage, because I'm going to show you all the storage in this camper, because it actually has quite a bit for no bigger than it is. You don't have to get the whole pool cleaner kit out. You can literally just broom everything into the little collection point and be done with it. Now, it's not a big giant dinette because it is an 8 foot wide camper, but because it's not, it doesn't have a slide out, the living space is limited. But if you think about it, this is an RV made for 1 or 2 people, really at most. That's who this is designed for. So they gave it just a couple's dinette. I personally, I wouldn't be opposed to the concept of a dining bar right there. What's your thoughts on that? Leave me a little note. Do you like the little 2-bench dinette that folds into a tiny sleeper? Or would you like the idea of a campsite overlooked dining bar looking at that big window? Now, the floor plan has a couple little funky hitches, mostly due to its smaller size. Like I'm sitting in the right-hand theater seat as close to the TV as possible. And the TV is not directly facing you. Like if I face straight forward, this is what we're looking at right here. So it's not bad. And the TV can pivot. I don't have it pivoted currently, but it can pivot. I am also noticing now that I'm sitting down, you do have some household and USB outlets under those overhead cabinets right there, probably to be able to, service the people if they are sitting here at this dinette. And even though it's that double post, man, that is going to be one heck of a knee knocker. The good news is for like $40 on Amazon. If you get on Amazon and search folding RV table legs, you'll find a whole bunch of solutions where you can just change those legs out, use the existing tabletop, and have a free floating table. I would personally probably go that route. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, because they have the big boxy window valance, which I'm normally not a fan of, but maybe we can turn a flaw into a feature and create a phone charge station or a Bluetooth speaker station or something like that. Like, I could see that working. Now, one of the things that I love about you folks watching this and all the comments you leave is that I pick up extra things I never thought about. And one of the things a few of you mentioned is that these cabinet door handles are not dog collar friendly. It is possible, dog collars could get caught on those. It's not like it's exactly hard to swap those out, but it's something that some people like to think about. By the way, that is a 12-volt smart TV. So even if you're in a Walmart parking lot, you're good. And because this RV does have a private bedroom, they do go ahead and centralize the 15,000 BTU air conditioner. Now, our cabinetry is all pocket screwed, lumber core, which means, an actual wood core. You have some MDF particle board on the front back sides, and then you have your sticker wrap on top of that. So that's how this cabinetry is put together. And frankly, that's about the best that you get until you get into some really, really extreme bigger money. Now, the kitchen's not the biggest I've ever seen, but for a small camper made for 1 or 2 people, I think it is like exactly adequate, just enough. Some people, though, really do not like the air fryer convection microwave 1, 2, 3 wombo combo down here at your kneecap level. I don't mind it, but I don't mind bending over to grab stuff. Some people, that just doesn't work very well for them, and I respect that, but they don't offer a propane oven in this. You have propane outside cooking. You have a 2 high output burner stovetop. And I want to mention that because the 3 burner stoves, you have 1 high and 2 low in the back. And the 2 low output burners basically can't boil water, and this can. But for no bigger than this RV is 25-foot tip to tail. The open feeling with the windows and the amount of counter space you have and the really intelligent use of that power tower all the way back in the corner, plus some other easy reach outlets right here. I think they just about hashtag nailed this sucker right here. If I'm going to be ultra picky, I personally don't care for a circular sink, although I do really like how they gave us the hardwood sink cover right next to that sucker. But if I back up just a little bit further, once again, you do have that full-on 10 cubic foot 12-volt compressor fridge. And I want to mention that because there are a lot of builders who have started shrinking down the size of their refrigerators, but they never seem to want to put that as an update. They only want to tell you when the fridge gets bigger. They conveniently forget to mention it when the fridge gets smaller. Now, this bathroom does have the peekaboo I smell you door because it doesn't have another way to provide functional airflow for the larger XL vent fan that they have up here. Because if it had a fully sealed off bathroom, it would have more limited airflow. And if you crank that sucker on high with the bathroom door shut, it could possibly pull black tank stank up from the toilet and fumigate your camper, which is not something I think anybody wants. Kind of like we saw by the entry door. Handy place to hang coats well, I guess you could, but towels in the bathroom, I think, is really smart. The RV is 6.5 foot tall. So if you're a little bit bigger like me, your head's all the way up in that skylight. I'm a little over 6 foot wearing shoes and hat in that footage, by the way. And this is a little more of a motorhome style shower. It is nicely rectangular instead of radius, but it's not the deepest one. I think it's like a 36 by, 24, something. 36, 24, 36. Maybe if she's 5'3". To quote the great modern poet, Mix-a-Lot. All right, let me collect myself a little bit here as we start cracking open the storage. Like Steven Tyler, I don't want to miss a thing, so let's actually start with the cabinetry up here above the sofa. And I like that they included that there. They could have made the RV probably look and feel a little bit bigger by not including that, but I think it was a really good decision to kind of maximize the storage in this thing. Now, in this floor plan, you do have that wall-hugging theater recliner right there. I don't think there's going to be any other seating swaptions. I don't know if there's quite enough room for a hide-a-bed to even open in this thing. Now, as long as we are looking down here, I wanted to kind of demonstrate what I call the electric dustpan. That's all you do. You just flick that up with your toe, and it starts doing the dentist suction machine method to just pull everything right up in there. So all you need is a little broom, and you're good. You're all taken care of here. Now you've got, I love the fact that they came up with dedicated pantry space in this simple no-slide camper. And compared to the absorption fridges of the past, the biggest difference here, the reason that these 12-volt fridges have a greater capacity is basically because they're deeper in the back, because they don't have that condenser unit in the back. Now there's a bunch of stuff in there, like the TST tire pressure monitoring system that comes on this, also factory standard. So there's a bunch of handy good news features that are included on this one that we haven't even mentioned yet. And I like to share what I call the good with the bad. And some of it is personal and subjective. I like the fact that they didn't waste any storage in this. That rear corner is going to be a little tricky to get to. You're going to have to kind of reach up around the corner to get there. So kind of plan accordingly a little bit on that. A couple other things. I'm personally not a fan of the circular sinks. I prefer like a farm sink or a square sink, but that's just my 2 cents. What would your preference be in terms of a sink? Let us know maybe. Down below here, again, I appreciate the focus on storage. I dislike the fact that I don't really have a good spot for a wastebasket. I kind of wish like that shelf wasn't there so that I had an open wastebasket slot. And kind of like the overhead cabinetry, stuff can sort of get a little bit lost back in that corner, but it doesn't go all the way back there because it does have a little outdoor camp kitchen. So they use that space, I think, intelligently. And there's a little look inside the, again, 3-in-1 function electric oven that you get on one of these. And it boggles my mind how many much larger RVs I encounter that have exactly 0 drawers in the kitchen. And here they came up with 3 really good ones. I like Jayco products for the most part, and I really like Eagle. But they just came out with a new bunkhouse fifth wheel. It's like 35 foot long. That literally, not bunkhouse. It's a couples camping fifth wheel that's 30 foot long. Sorry, I got my models mixed up. And it literally has 0 drawers. And it just feels like a very awkward miss to me. And here's RPod at 25 foot total, nailing it. Now, remember I said how, that TV can pivot for a little bit easier viewing. It doesn't drop down, but, you'll have to kind of take that into account for yourself, what's most important. I'm eyeballing this. I think that's like 72 inches long, give or take. It's close. Anyway, you do have, it's not large, it's a small sleeper, but it's mostly a couples camper, and we do have handy storage down here below the dinette. A little bit more of an up close and personal look on this. This one is right by the door. I think if I was going to get this RV, I would route out like a hole in that dinette back right there, and I would use it like a little bit of a shoe garage right when I walk in the door. That would be, I think, generally speaking, a pretty simple, easy fix. Now, I love the fact, too, it's a full hard wall, privacy wall. They could have left this an open air curtain, and I don't think a lot of people would have flinched, but they went to the extent of centralizing the air conditioner and going full hard privacy wall with the split style doors. But something else I noticed is there's actually a bracket on the inside of the doors where they can latch. That's a combination of lock and latch. That's a new RV nerdism. It latches. Anyway, you get the idea. You can keep it private in here. Now, real quick note. The RV that we are looking at today technically has a short queen installed. RPod is in the process of changing this over to a 60 by 80 queen. So some of the very early 205 RPods, like the one we're looking at today, may have a short queen in them if you go visit a dealership. But as this footage ages very, very quickly, those are all going to convert over into a 60 by 80 true queen bed. Now, something I'm looking for, do we have TV hookups in here? I don't see one on this one. I don't see any TV hookups in this bedroom for folks who are concerned about that. Oh, important thing, something I haven't mentioned yet. All of your windows have the nice blackout roller shades right there. And sometimes folks ask me, can these fire escape windows open for airflow? So yeah, here's a little RV pro tip for you. Now, I am not left-handed, but you pop this lever out and then you pop it and lock it like a hip hop dancer. And that can provide you some really nice rainy day airflow. Now, looking around the bedroom, as long as I'm super up in this thing's face, both bedside stands have household and USB outlets. And as long as we are up close, let's go. I think the backlighting, the indirect lighting in the hanging wardrobe tower is a nice touch. Although, holy cow, dude, it looks like a machine gun line of staples going on in the bottom of that wardrobe. Again, I try to call things as fairly as I can, as reasonably as I can. Now, you might notice they don't do any cabinetry in the overhead area of the bed because of the curvature of the nose of this sucker. It just wouldn't fit, essentially. Now, both sides of the bed have these really nice, I call them headboard power pockets, because they do have household plugs built right into them, which is, handy, nice little touch right there. And as we back up, you may have noticed the windows shift a little bit. It suddenly has, visibility, because this actually has a 2-section day-night roller shade. And I'm doing some really crazy Cirque du Soleil contortionist moves to try to get onto and off of that bed without necessarily putting my feet on it, which is not always the easiest thing for a chubby dad bod dude like me. Thankfully, getting the storage under the bed is very simple and easy with the double gas struts that we have going on. And this is that pool cleaner kit I was telling you about. It basically, if you don't have a broom, or if there's like crumbs in a cabinet or something like that that are hard to reach, you can hook that hose up and you can actually vacuum out your cabinets using your RV's existing built-on hardware. It's a little different, a little unconventional, but also kind of handy. Like, I don't personally need a centralized vacuum in a camper, but it is kind of handy, kind of nice. And normally this is the part of the video where I talk about road mode. I don't like doing fisheye wide-angle lensing like this, but sometimes in a small no-slide camper, it's kind of handy just to make sure you can understand how everything relates to one another. But a lot of people will display the RV like this all the time, and for me, it just feels super shady and misleading, because this isn't what it really looks like in person. But some people ask for it, so I try to provide what folks like to see. If you like the difference there, hit that subscribe button, let me know what you prefer, and we're just going to keep on keeping on. And as you may have suspected, the towing and going factors on this RV, I think, are very, very reasonable. It's like tip of the tongue to the very back. It is 25 foot on the nose, tip to tail. 25 foot tandem axle no slide, easy towing couples camper with a theater seat, a dinette, and a private True Queen bedroom. There's just not a lot of other RVs out there that can boast the list of qualities that I just fired off. I think that's part of what makes this one so special. Now, something you can't see is under the fiberglass skin is Asdel, which, if you're not familiar with that, it's a wood substitute material. It weighs about 50% less. Asdel itself can't rot, mold, or mildew. It acts as an additional moisture barrier factor in the construction of the lamwich of the RV, the laminated sandwich, if you were. It makes sense on a product like this. There's also these fun little details. I don't even know if the camera's going to pick this up, but they always have a frog somewhere. And watch the fire. It's going to like holographic baseball card color shift a little bit. That's not just a camera trick. It actually does that to the naked eye as well. It's just fun little things there. Like, if you really look closely at the graphics package, there's kind of like the little hidden RPod graphic right there on the eye shadowing around the window. There's just a bunch of fun little almost Easter eggs that you find on this as you go. Now, I try to be fair. I try to share the ups and the downs. And if I'm going to be ultra fair, just due to the nature of the way this one lays out, it's a smaller awning. It's not the world's biggest awning because they couldn't really make it any bigger. There's a window in the back and a water heater preventing it from going back further. And between the window and the baggage door up here, they just weren't able to put something there. Now, if you look between the window and baggage door, you're like, there's room there. Yeah, but due to the curvature of the nose of the RV, the awning couldn't extend that far forward. So they kind of put the biggest awning on it they could, but just due to the nature of this floor plan, it's not a mega awning model. So how do we work around that? Well, you've got that big front pass-through compartment. You could easily get like a 10 by 10 easy up screen room that you could plop, I don't know, in front of that awning and be just fine, essentially. Your windows are tinted, and look at the campside window coverage over here. Between the window and the door, the giant dining window, kitchen and bedroom, you actually get a nice look at your campsite, which is really, really cool. Now down below here, your Eastern models have Goodyear Endurance radials. Your Western models, the Hood River Edition, will have a kind of like a Westlake sort of off-road looking tire to help give it a little more ground clearance. No matter where this is built, or where it's built for, rather, because these are pretty much only built in the Indiana production space. It has the enclosed heated belly. And on the back there, you see that tankless on-demand water heater, and that's perfectly positioned on a floor plan like this. Because if you remember inside, think of where your kitchen's located, think of where your bathroom's located. And this is, whoa, we got some crazy light action going on here. Flick them all on, buddy. Let's light her up. All right, there we go. That's what Uncle Gary likes to do on a Friday night, is light it up. Anyway, what I was saying is that water heater's located in a spot where it makes the most sense. Now, I got to give you a quick clerical thing right here. I don't quite know the details, and I don't know that it necessarily matters. Today, we're looking at one that actually has a camera installed. That's not normal. I don't know if maybe this is something that's being built for an employee of the factory and they wanted one on there. I'm not exactly sure the case. These will always be camera prepped. If you actually want a camera installed, give our folks at our stores a call. It's basically plug and play. It's very simple. It's very easy. It's stuff we can do for you. You can obviously see the ladder prep mount up there as well. And they're doing an and instead of an or. We have a full rear bumper and the 300-pound receiver hitch. So if you want to add a bike rack, if you want to add a little cargo tray for a generator, you want to get off the grid a little bit, you have that opportunity. Speaking of that note, up top you see that silver kind of hump line. Let me move forward a little bit. That silver bump sticking up over the roof line. That's the 200-watt factory solar package. And the charge controller could accept a second one of those panels if you were so inclined. Now, we've got an awesome silhouette going here. So if you look down at the ground level behind the tires, you can see the singular sewer outlet sticking out. So you don't have to do the poop scoop boogie. You don't have to shift the hookups between different, spaces. And I'm normally not a big fan of colored wheels like this. And some people are going to say that the color of this is just atrocious, but I think it very nicely ties into the graphics package of the camper. I'm normally not a big fan of that, but I personally feel like they did a pretty good job with it myself. But hey, that's just my nerdy 2 cents. Once again, we are simple, easy, no slide. One of the other unsung benefits of a no slide camper is, if you think about it, over here on the driver's side of the camper, that's usually where your park hookups would be located. Well, if you have a slide out, you kind of sometimes fight for space with those hookups, and the slide out pushes the body of the RV further away from your park site property line if you are park camping. No slide RVs give you more space on the camp side of your RV. That's a very unsung, unrealized benefit. Okay, so these are slam latches that obviously I forgot to unlock this one, so pardon me, we're gonna get back to that in just a second. While we're making, our way past it, we have to acknowledge this, dual pane Euro style front window windshield thing right here. If you want to open this sucker for just crazy airflow, you can. And because this is dual pane, this is a true hollow 2-layer window windshield up here. It actually has, it's 2.5 times higher R values as compared to the best, quote, dual pane bonded windows that you'll find in the RV industry. And you might notice it also has the sort of bug screen here, and the blackout shade section has the radiant barrier. So if you are in crazy hot sun country, and you remember in Super Mario 3, there was that level where the sun was trying to kill you. Sometimes it feels like that in the bedroom of your RV. It's just nice to be able to kind of help block that out a little bit. Now, this one I do know for a fact is unlocked. magnet holdback, slam latches. You see the power outlets in that upper right corner right there. Perfect little spot, those USB plugs to like charge up an outdoor speaker or something. But a nice big full pass-through. Notice how they're even running welded cage aluminum framework under their queen bed space right there. Overall, my 2 cents, I think this is a really dynamite package. So there you go, everybody. Again, this one coming to you today at your request. You wanted to see the 205 RPod? Do my best to make it happen. If there's other models you'd like to see from either RPod or other brands, let me know. And if I don't have video of them, I'll try to work on getting them on my hit list for you. So short of that, double check the links in the video description where you can always find things like pricing and or availability. And appreciate you tuning in. If you like how we try to treat you fair and shoot you straight, hit that subscribe button. We'll catch you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.